You are standing in a cold, prehistoric night, long before cities, doors, locks, streetlights, or emergency numbers. There is no bedroom. There is no wall. There is no phone beside your head, glowing gently with the power to distract you from every real problem in the universe. There is only darkness. A small fire cracks in front of you. Around it, a few people are lying close together, wrapped in animal skins, breathing slowly. Someone coughs. Someone turns over. A child whimpers in sleep. And somewhere beyond the orange light, something moves through the grass. You cannot see it clearly. That is the problem. At night, the world becomes sound, smell, shadow, and imagination. A twig breaks, leaves move, the fire pops. Your brain asks the same question over and over again. Was that the wind? Or was that teeth? And yet, somehow, people slept. Not perfectly, not peacefully, but enough. Enough to heal, enough to dream, enough to wake up again and continue the strange project of becoming human. So how did ancient humans sleep without being eaten? No, wait, absolutely not. They did not simply lie down anywhere like fearless cave heroes and snore through the Stone Age. That image is funny, but it is wrong. Ancient humans were not the strongest animals on the landscape. They did not have claws. They did not have thick hides. They did not run as fast as horses or bite like big cats. A single human alone at night was not terrifying. A single human alone at night was basically a warm snack with opinions. The danger was real. In parts of ancient Africa and Eurasia, humans lived near large cats, hyenas, wolves, bears, snakes, crocodiles, and insects that carried disease. A leopard could drag prey into a tree. A hyena could crush bone with terrifying force. A lion could weigh more than 180 kilograms. A bear could smell food from far away. Even smaller threats mattered, because a bite, a fall, a fever, or an infected wound could become a death sentence. And sleep made everything worse. Sleep is one of the strangest things evolution ever allowed. For hours, an animal becomes less aware, less mobile, less responsive, and less defended. To sleep is to trust the world not to kill you for a while. For ancient humans, that trust had to be earned every single night. This is not just a guess. Modern primates, hunter-gatherer societies, and archaeological sites all show the same basic pattern. Sleep is never just biological. Sleep is social. Sleep is environmental. Sleep is strategic. Ancient humans did not solve the night with one magic trick. They solved it with many small tricks, stacked together like stones around a fire. The first trick was the oldest and probably the most important. They slept together. But this was not just because they liked company. It was not comfort. It was defense. A group of sleeping humans is very different from one sleeping human. One person may be unconscious, but everyone is not equally unconscious at the same time. Someone is sleeping lightly. Someone wakes to feed a child. Someone hears movement. Someone smells smoke changing direction. Someone notices the dogs. If dogs are already part of that human world, suddenly becoming alert. It was not a bedroom. It was a living alarm system. This matters because human sleep is flexible. People do not sleep like machines switching off at the same time. In groups, sleep can naturally stagger. Older adults may wake more often. Parents may wake because of children. Some people may be restless. Some may sit near the fire longer. Some may rise before dawn. Annoying, yes. Useful, absolutely. Modern research has actually observed this pattern in human sleep. People sleeping in unfamiliar or risky environments often remain more alert. Parts of the brain respond differently when danger might be present. Even today, when you sleep badly on the first night in a new place, your body may be doing something ancient and practical. Not because your hotel pillow is personally attacking you, but because your brain is asking, are we safe here? For ancient humans, that question was not emotional drama, it was survival math. The group was not just a pile of bodies, it was a network of attention. A baby could sleep because adults were nearby. An injured hunter could rest because others could hear the night. Children could survive because sleep was shared, not private. The weak were protected by the many. That is the first answer. Ancient humans slept in groups because a group could stay partially awake even when individuals slept. A group was not comfort. A group was armor. But that was not the end. The second trick was fire. Today, we often think of fire as warmth, cooking, or a nice background for camping photos where someone is pretending not to be cold. But for ancient humans, fire changed the night itself. Fire was not just heat, it was territory. A flame creates a boundary. On one side, there are humans, light, smoke, sparks, tools, voices, movement, and strange, upright creatures who throw things. On the other side, there is darkness. Many predators do not like uncertainty. They may be powerful, but they are not stupid. A predator wants a clean opportunity, surprise, weakness, isolation, low risk. Fire complicates all of that. Smoke irritates. Light exposes movement. Sparks move unpredictably. Human voices suggest numbers. Burning wood creates sound. A campfire tells the night. Something organized is happening here. This is not just a guess. There is archaeological evidence behind this. Controlled use of fire appears at ancient human sites in different times and places. And while scholars debate exactly when fire became routine, its importance is not in doubt. Fire helped with cooking, warmth, tool use, social life, and protection. But protection did not mean a magical wall that no animal could cross. Stop there for a second. Fire was not an invisible force field. A desperate predator could still approach. A snake could still slide into camp. Insects did not politely respect the invention of civilization, and if the fire died, the boundary weakened. So the real power of fire was not that it made humans invincible. It was not invincibility, it was hesitation. That hesitation mattered. If a predator pauses for 3 seconds, humans can wake. If a predator circles, instead of charging, someone can throw a stone. If an animal avoids the brightest side of camp, humans can position themselves better. Survival is often not about removing danger completely. It is about buying enough seconds to respond. Fire bought seconds. Fire also extended the day. It let people stay awake after sunset. Around a fire, humans could repair tools, share food, watch children, tell stories, and listen. The camp became more than a sleeping place. It became a center of memory. Where did the leopard come from last time? Which direction did the hyenas call from? Which cave floods when rain comes? Who heard movement near the river? Fire made conversation possible at night, and conversation made the next night safer. That is the second answer. Ancient humans used fire not simply to see in the dark, but to make darkness less certain for everything else. Fire was not just warmth. Fire was a warning. The third trick was location. Ancient humans did not sleep anywhere if they had a choice. They read the land like a defensive map. A good sleeping place was not just dry or comfortable, it had to solve problems. Could something approach quietly? Could water rise suddenly? Was there an escape route? Was the entrance narrow? Could people see the surrounding area? Was there fuel nearby? Were there signs that another animal already used the place? A cave sounds perfect, but even a cave has risks. A cave may already belong to bears, hyenas, or big cats. A deep cave can trap smoke. A narrow entrance can protect you, but it can also trap you. A rock shelter may block wind, but it may also hide snakes or insects. So ancient humans needed judgment. It was not luck, it was landscape intelligence. They used cliffs, trees, water edges, open ground, caves, rock shelters, and elevated places. They learned which places felt safe because people survived there before. They avoided places where people did not. This is one of the quiet superpowers of our species. We remember danger in space. A predator is not just out there, it is near the river bend. It is beyond the tall grass. It is by the carcass. It is where the birds suddenly stopped calling yesterday. Human minds turn places into stories, and stories into warnings. There is archaeological evidence behind this. Ancient occupation sites often show repeated use of shelters, hearths, tool-making areas, and activity zones. These were not random piles of old stones. They were traces of human decisions, repeated over time. The camp was a design, maybe not design with blueprints, rulers, and someone saying, "The committee has approved the sleeping zone, Sam," but design in the older sense. Choice, memory, testing, failure, and adjustment. If one location allowed better visibility, people returned. If another place was too exposed, they remembered. If a cave smelled wrong, they left. If a fire pit worked, they rebuilt it. A safe sleeping place was a tool made of geography. That is the third answer. Ancient humans survived sleep by choosing places where the land itself helped guard them. The ground was not background. The ground was part of the defense. But even groups, fire, and good locations were not enough. Because the most dangerous thing about night is not always what is present. Sometimes it is what you do not know is present. This is where the fourth trick appears: communication. A human camp is full of information: a snapped branch, a bird alarm call, a dog growling, a child crying, a change in wind, a smell of rot, a distant call, a memory from last season. One person notices one thing, another person knows what it means. Language, even in early forms, allowed humans to combine these signals. Not because language was poetic, because language was defensive technology. It was not just talking, it was threat mapping. Imagine one person returning to camp and warning others that lions were feeding near the valley. Imagine someone describing where hyenas moved after sunset. Imagine elders remembering that during dry months, animals approached water at different times. Imagine children learning not from being eaten, which is a very bad educational method, but from being told what danger looks like. This is not just a guess. Modern research has actually observed how human groups use shared knowledge, teaching, and social learning to survive in difficult environments. We are not simply creatures with big brains. We are creatures whose brains connect to other brains. One human remembers a danger. A group turns that memory into a rule. A rule turns into a habit. A habit keeps someone alive while sleeping. That is extraordinary. The real technology was not only the stone blade or the spear point, it was the sentence. It was the warning. It was the story told beside the fire, repeated until even the youngest person understood where not to wander after dark. And here is the reversal. At first, humans seem like weak animals trying to survive the night. But slowly, the night begins to change. around humans. A camp with fire, tools, voices, memory, and cooperation is not easy prey. A predator approaching that camp is not attacking one sleeping animal. It is approaching a coordinated species. Then something happened that changed everything. Humans did not only defend themselves from predators, sometimes they made predators defend themselves from humans. A group of humans could shout, throw stones, wave burning branches, advance together, and break the normal script of a hunt. Predators expect prey to panic and scatter, but humans could do something deeply annoying to a predator. They could organize. Running away can trigger pursuit, but a group stepping forward together can create confusion. A predator that expected fear meets noise. It expected isolation and meets numbers. It expected a weak body and meets flying rocks. It was not strength. It was coordinated risk. This does not mean ancient humans were reckless superhero hunters. Many died. Many were injured. Many nights were probably terrifying. But over generations, the pattern changed. Humans became harder to hunt. They also became better hunters themselves. Tools improved, fire use improved, communication improved, camps became more organized, children learned earlier, elders carried memory. The group became a survival machine made of fragile bodies and powerful cooperation. And eventually, wherever modern humans spread, large animals often began to disappear. That topic is debated. Climate change mattered. Habitat change mattered. Human hunting pressure mattered. The exact mix was different in different places, but the pattern is strong enough to make us uncomfortable. The animal that once worried about being eaten in the dark became one of the most dangerous forces large animals had ever encountered. That is the strange arc of human sleep. We survived the night by refusing to face it alone. We made sleep social. We made fire meaningful. We made land into shelter. We made memory into warning. We made language into a map of invisible threats. And then we kept doing it, night after night, generation after generation. A child slept because someone else stayed alert. A sick person recovered because the group did not abandon them. An old person mattered because memory could be as useful as muscle. A small fire mattered because it turned blackness into a circle. A story mattered because it told people where the teeth had been. So the answer is not one thing. Ancient humans slept without being eaten because they built a system around sleep. Not a bedroom, not a house, not safety as we understand it. A system, a breathing circle of people, a fire that said, "We are here," a chosen piece of land, a shared memory of danger, a brain that could imagine tomorrow morning and plan backward from it. That is why sleep did not destroy us. In fact, sleep may have helped make us more human. Around the sleeping body, humans built care, trust, warning, memory, and responsibility. The helpless hours of the night forced our ancestors to depend on each other, and depending on each other turned out to be our greatest weapon. So the next time you panic because your phone battery is at 3%, remember that one of your ancestors, 100,000 years ago, once closed their eyes while a leopard moved somewhere beyond the firelight. And somehow, because of fire, friends, memory, and one very nervous person who refused to sleep deeply, you are here to complain about the charger.